Michigan Early Literacy Collaborative. This lesson will be on comprehension, informational text, ask and answer. Learning objective. Readers can ask and answer questions to deepen his or her understanding of an informational text. This lesson follows the workshop model and will last approximately 15 minutes. The pre-skills needed for this activity are that students have an understanding of the basic elements of an informational text and are familiar with the partner-pair-share routine and expectations. Materials needed. You will need a copy of Amazing Animal Helpers for each student. You will also want to have a copy of sentence starter examples on hand. After watching this video, then the teacher should start their 5-minute introduction. The teacher modeling should be that the teacher reads a short selected informational text and demonstrates the thinking on the selection aloud with the students, and then checks for student understanding by asking questions. For the guided practice, please bring the students to the front of the classroom, to your common area, or the back of the classroom, or whichever area in the room that you like to bring the full group together for lessons for the workshop model. The teacher will read the selected short informational text, and like I said, they will demonstrate the thinking of the selection aloud. Check for student understanding by asking questions. I will share a short video clip to help you with the guided practice activity.
Lesson that I would do with children to get them to use informational text to ask and answer questions carefully so that they understand better what they read. I'll have all the children come back and gather on our carpet, and then we'll begin by reading an article together. The article that I chose and that is in the lesson plan is called Bye Bye Fly. It's an informational article, not real long, just about a page. We will have already read that article when I begin this part. Okay, children, now that we're all sitting back here and we've had a chance to read the article, I want you to be thinking about 4 questions that will help us understand just the basics of the article. The first one is, what is the article mostly about? Why do we begin with something like this? It's essentially to make sure that we are on the right track for the rest of our questions. So think carefully, what is the article mostly about? As soon as you have an answer, give me a thumbs up. And turn and talk to your partner and tell them what you think the article is mostly about. Great. Raise your hand if you thought the article was mostly about a Venus flytrap. Great. And we would continue to go through the rest of the questions. What does the flytrap do? Where does the flytrap live? How does the flytrap get the fly? And I would have them go through step by step, turning and talking to their partner. The next part of the lesson is another independent article, also very short. This one's called Amazing Animal Helpers. And essentially it talks about the different ways that animals help people in their daily lives. So the first one is about dolphins, the next one is about dogs, and then horses and monkeys. I would have them with their partner take turns reading each paragraph of the article slowly and carefully. And then once they're finished, I would have some pre-selected questions. You're going to find that there's so many questions to select from. Just choose a few to get them started. That oral language component is really critical for 3rd grade. Oops. So, I would have them start by saying, here's the question. I would present this. What is the article mostly about? And give them a chance to think about it. And then I'd have each partner use their own voices to say, the article is mostly about, and I use the phrase start by saying because I want them to actually read the beginning part of the question. It elevates the language of their discussion and it elevates the language of their written responses as well. So partner 1 would say the article is mostly about animals helping people. And then partner 2, we'd switch. Usually partner 2 is somewhat of a weaker reader. So partner 2 says, again, the article is mostly about, and repeats what partner 1 says. So here's another example. Here's the question. What are 3 ways animals help? And then you give them a chance to think about it and think about the animals that were in the article. They can go back to the article, and then you turn it over and ask them to start by saying 3 ways animals can help are, and have them talk about the dogs, the horses, the monkeys, or the other animals in the article. This allows them to dig a little deeper into the article. We're not doing a lot of writing at this point, but now we're previewing and we're rehearsing the words that they would need to use in their written responses. Later we'll use this to continue to write about paragraphs and do a reader's response with this. So essentially we're giving them some structure and some practice in asking and answering questions while they read an informational article.
Here is an example of an anchor chart that you could use to help readers understand why it is important to ask questions, as well as some sentence starters. The formative assessment will be an exit ticket, or have the students show you or discuss with you their questions. Standards assessed are RL 3.1. There are many additional resources. Please check the links on the lesson plan. Anchor standards covered. And research done to create this lesson.